A month ago, an eternal night fell, and a bizarre gray fog swallowed the entire city in the blink of an eye. Then, mutant creatures started popping up, destroying everything in their path. To make matters worse, just inhaling that fog was a one-way ticket to the afterlife or a guaranteed mutation for any unlucky soul. Suddenly, a giant cat engulfed in purple flames appears, terrorizing a group of survivors. The guys immediately start shouting orders to surround the monstrous beast. Without wasting a second, they launch a team attack, totally out for blood. Focusing his energy, one of the dudes preps a nasty fire punch. But the beast barely feels the hit and instantly retaliates, sending the guy flying. Giving them no room to breathe, the beast starts handing out beatdowns, crushing everyone. Taking a few steps back, the crew realizes they're totally screwed. Shaking with fear, the group's leader admits he underestimated the monster's strength, and that now, they're all toast. In a flash, a merciless claw rips the poor guy to shreds. From high above, our MC watches the smoke rise to the 22nd floor, knowing his turn is coming soon. As his only hope, the little system fairy tells him he needs to invite a goddess to live with him to activate his powers. But our guy starts to panic, wondering where the heck he's supposed to find a goddess in an apocalypse like this. A knock sounds on the door, and a woman's voice asks for a pack of instant ramen. Our boy's eyes light up immediately, thinking his saving grace has finally arrived. He quickly tells her that she already knows the rules for getting food. Full of herself, the woman brags that she's cute, a little curvy, and even put on black pantyhose just to please him. Hearing this, the kid almost has a heart attack from excitement. Posing confidently, the supposed hottie calls him handsome and asks if he wants to rip her clothes off. All hyped up, he says hello while the system fairy starts scanning the woman. Suddenly, our hero's expression shifts to one of pure shock and horror. Facing the harsh reality, he sees the woman looks more like a battle tank than a charming, curvy girl. To make things worse, the system rejects the candidate on the spot, calling her damaged goods, and way below the required standards. Without a second thought, our MC slams the door in the troll's face. Furious, the woman starts pounding on the door, cussing the guy out for being a scammer and posting fake shelter ads. Ignoring the shouting, the boy turns to the hundreds of water bottles on his floor. Pulling out his phone, he snaps a picture of his fortune and resources. He then sends the image to a residents' group chat, announcing he's accepting beauties in exchange for food and shelter. The neighbors quickly start chewing the kid out, calling him selfish for not sharing with the community. Just then, a notification catches his eye, and the fairy notes it's the same gold-digging girl who'd turned him down before. Reading the messages, his ex asks if the ad is for real and says she's up for anything if he lets her in. With a glass in hand, our hero smirks, enjoying the irony of the situation. However, he nearly spits out his wine when he receives a very daring photo from the girl. Showing off the goods, the hottie gets a perfect score from the system, lingerie and all. Overjoyed, the fairy confirms the girl's pure, elegant, and meets all the requirements. Laser-focused, the boy hits the bind button without wasting a single second. In a flash, a blue light shines, signaling success and guaranteeing a massive return on resources. On top of that, the system announces that the shelter has leveled up and can now withstand damage from stronger creatures. Thrilled to bits, our MC realizes the barrier even reduces the impact of the lethal environment outside. Cowling the girl, he lets her know she passed the test and can head up to the 22nd floor. On the other end of the line, the brunette says she's stuck on the 24th floor and asks him to come get her. To sweeten the deal, she reveals she has a little sister who just became an adult living with her. Pumped by the news, the kid thinks he's hit the jackpot and tells her to send a picture of her sister right away. Turning around, the brunette calls for her little sister to come to the living room for a sec. A very shy, beautiful white-haired girl appears, asking what's going on. Pulling the girl close, the older sister snaps a selfie, telling her they'll soon be heading to a place with lots of food. Looking at his screen, our hero analyzes the picture of the two of them together. Scanning the new candidate, the system gives her a perfect score, stating that the girl is simply flawless. Right then, the boy remembers that his ex had rejected him before precisely because he was poor and had to take care of her sick sister. Sealing the deal, he sends a message telling them to hang tight, rescue is on the way. Meanwhile outside, bizarre tentacles continue to overtake the buildings amidst the fog. Very carefully, our hero peeks into the hallway to check if it's clear. Confirming there's no danger, he steps out armed with a heavy shield and a sword, accompanied by the fairy. Sneaking around, he gets spotted by that troublesome troll from the shack earlier. Huffing in anger, the large woman curses him out, vowing to steal all his supplies as soon as the kid meets his end out there. But being very clever, our MC had already changed the digital door code to ensure his base was secure. Climbing the stairs, he finally reaches the 24th floor and lets them know he's at the door. Slowly the lock opens, and the brunette goddess peeks out, relieved to see her savior. Suddenly, her expression twists into pure terror, and she screams for him to watch out. Leaping from the shadows, the darn giant cat with purple flames attacks with full force. With his sharp reflexes, our hero raises his shield, blocking the mutant beast's brutal swipe. With sheer force, he pushes the bizarre monster back, buying himself a precious second. Sliding into the apartment, he flies inside and pulls the brunette to safety. The door immediately slams, shut in the face of the beast, which starts smashing the wood from the outside. Safely inside, the two sisters tremble in fear, terrified by the size of the devilish feline. Sitting on the floor catching his breath, the kid says you're welcome, but the girl asks if he lied about having food. At that, he accesses the system interface, projecting a blue holographic screen full of glowing items. Pulling a bag packed with supplies out of thin air, the boy hands it to the albino girl, leaving her in awe. Seeing the girl's gratitude, the fairy announces that the requirements have been met and asks if he wants to bind with the second goddess. Clicking accept, our MC breaks down in tears of joy when he sees the system bonus yielded thousands of canned goods and pure water. On the wall clock, time strikes, signaling the end of an era and a drastic change in the weather. In the city skies, an apocalyptic holographic message announces that the first round is over and now the trial of extreme heat will begin. Announcing that human technology is now useless, the system decrees that survivors must do their best not to turn into barbecue in this new phase. Shocked by the final judgment announcement, our MC and the brunette exchange extremely tense glances. The albino girl then raises her arm, showing that she really did get an extra bracelet from the system. Outside, the scenery turns into a living hell, with the sun frying the entire city without mercy. Pointing a finger at the window, the girl screams in despair as she sees the tentacles melting on the asphalt. Even the mutant monsters begin to fry alive under this insane heat. Thanks to the shelter upgraded by the system, our guy realizes this is their only chance to stay alive. On the living room floor, the trio tries to endure the unbearable temperature. With a popsicle in hand, the younger sister complains that it must be at least 104 degrees in there. Noticing things are only getting worse, the kid says they can't just sit there waiting to kick the bucket. Through the crack in the door, he checks the hallway and sees the mutant cat finally took off. Surprised by the news, the two sisters' eyes go wide, seeing a real chance to escape. With a super confident smile, the hero gives the order to make a break for his apartment right now. But halfway there, the darned cat of purple flames reappears out of nowhere and chases after the group. Reaching the door to the 22nd floor, the boy rushes to punch in the code in pure desperation. But as luck would have it, the panel flashes red, indicating an error right at the moment of truth. Behind them, the demonic beast readies its deadly pounce, letting out a spine-chilling roar. Breaking into a cold sweat, the kid doesn't understand how the password could fail at that exact second. Grabbing the brunette goddess by the arm, he tells her he's going to have to play his ace in the hole. With its sharp claws out, the beast leaps with everything it's got to slice the trio to bits. Our MC quickly pulls an item from his inventory and throws it right at the monster's face. Surprisingly, the flying object reveals itself to be a giant bag of cat food. Unable to believe what she just saw, the woman just stares blankly. Instantly, the beast loses its menacing vibe and bites into the bag, its eyes shining with joy. Completely distracted, the beast sits down in the hallway and calmly devours the food. Seizing the perfect opportunity, our hero leaps forward with his sword in hand, ready for the kill. With a clean and precise strike, the blade pierces through the mutant's head, sending blood flying everywhere. Knocked to the ground, the monster is finally defeated as our boy lands in style. Rummaging through the creature's body, he pulls out a glowing blue crystal filled with pure energy. Filled with greed, the kid realizes he's found a beast core and is already thinking about the double return from the system. Smiling at the hottie, he places the rare item in her hands without a second thought. In complete shock, the brunette asks if he really wants to give away something so valuable. A moment later, a notification pings, confirming the gift and depositing 100 cores directly into the boy's inventory. However, the piece is short-lived as a gang of thugs appears, led by the gossiping troll. Pointing a filthy finger in his face, the troll demands that he hand over the mutant core to her. The cocky henchmen threaten to hurt everyone if the girl doesn't give them the stone. Keeping his cool, our MC tells the two goddesses to stay right behind him. Gripped by fear, the sisters huddle together, expecting the worst from this mess. With a mocking smile, the boy tosses the core into the air, telling them to come and get if they want it. Like rabid dogs, the thugs desperately dive to grab the stone in mid-air. In that split second, our hero grabs the girls and bolts for the apartment at full speed. But in the middle of the scramble, the little albino sister trips and screams for help. Suddenly, the gang's brute of a leader grabs the girl by the neck, all muscle and with a mean look on his face. The villain shows he's not messing around. As fast as lightning, the door locks while the brunette tries to pull her sister back inside. Locked in safely, the goddess cries in desperation, but the boy warns her that going out now is suicide against an ability user. Out in the hall, the woman shows off the core to the leader, thinking they've hit the jackpot. With a wicked smile, the brute confirms it's a C-level core and praises her accomplishment. Pounding his own chest, the villain smashes his fist against the boy's door, demanding he hand over all the food. With energy in his hands, the giant unleashes a wicked blow to bust down the door with brute force. The sound of the impact echoes through the halls, making the entire floor shake. Inside the apartment, the structure creaks, terrifying the brunette with the possibility of an imminent invasion. Without losing his swagger, our MC laughs in the villain's face and spends points to upgrade the shelter in the system. A holographic glow immediately spreads up the walls, confirming the base's evolution to level C. After another full-force punch, the leader is repelled, and the troll can't understand how the door held up. Furious, the thug gives them 1 minute to open up, or he's gonna have some fun, with the albino girl right there. In tears, the goddess throws herself into the hero's arms, begging for a divine miracle. With a grim expression, he pulls out the mountain of crystals from his inventory and says there's only one way out. Without hesitation, the girl shoves the core into her mouth and swallows it, hoping to awaken her powers. Instantly, a purple aura envelops her body, boosting her physical strength to an insane degree. Still surprised by her newfound energy, she finally notices the colossal pile of magic stones on the bed. With a wink to the girl, the kid keeps the secret about his multiplier system. He then orders the application to leave only one core behind and absorbs the entire rest. Suddenly, a golden light explodes in the room, revealing that he has shot straight up to rank D. But the evolution doesn't stop there, as electric sparks cover his body, heralding his arrival at rank B. Outside, the boss, chilling out on a makeshift sofa, finishes his countdown. At that exact moment, the digital lock beeps loudly and unlocks the door on its own. Stepping through the doorway, the hero and his partner face the gang head on, ready for war. With a completely dark look, the boy tells everyone to stop right where they are. Mockingly, the henchmen start laughing, thinking the kid chickened out and came to beg for mercy. Acting like she owns the place, the troll yells that they've already searched the other room and found no food. With a flick of his wrist, our MC materializes a shopping cart overflowing with valuable supplies. Starving, the entire gang's eyes go wide as the hero challenges them to come and take it by force. Without giving them a moment to breathe, our guy shoots off like a bolt of lightning, wrapped in pure electricity. Startled, the brute of a boss gets up and realizes he seriously underestimated the kid's speed. In an insane rush, the hero grabs one of the henchmen by the neck, calling the entire crew useless trash. Plowing through them like a bulldozer, our boy sends the henchman flying in the blink of an eye. With his body covered in lightning, the hero shows off his full power as the gang crashes to the floor. Surprised by this absurd strength, the brute deduces that the kid awakened a C or D level electric power. The boss then activates his stone armor and scoffs, pointing out that electricity doesn't work on earth types. Charging forward with everything he's got, the giant villain advances, covered in a green aura, while the troll cheers with joy. Getting straight to the point, our MC lands a wicked punch on the stone defense, making the armor crack instantly. Shocked by the impact, the leader's eyes widen, unable to believe his perfect barrier cracked so easily. Flashing a mocking smile, our hero asks if the punch at least managed to give him an itch. In an explosion of pure energy, a brutal electric punch smashes into the brute's face, shattering his defense for good and drawing blood. After eating that punch, the giant goes flying, admitting the boy's strength but still trying to act tough. Unable to stop his heavy body, the villain crashes through a glass window and plummets down the side of the building, completely defeated. Down below, the guy's body splatters amidst the tentacles, kicking up a huge cloud of dust and meeting his end. With the path clear, our MC remarks that the brute was all talk and no muscle, leaving the rest of the gang in absolute shock. Desperate, the thugs kneel on the floor, begging for mercy and swearing to work like dogs for their new boss. To make things worse, the troll throws herself at the kid, offering any kind of favor, but only gets a look of pure disgust in return. His patience worn out, the kid declares that this floor is now his territory, and kicks the whole scum-sucking crew out, screaming at them to leave. Gripped by terror, the henchmen scramble out the door, nearly trampling each other in their desperate escape. More relieved, the brunette goddess kneels on the floor to hug her little sister, asking if she got hurt. Crying with emotion, the younger sister ignores the pain and runs full tilt, calling out for the hero. With no brakes, the albino girl jumps onto the boy's neck, praising how handsome he is, while the fairy celebrates the massive increase in the affection meter. Thanks to the 90 affection points, the system unlocks a wicked bonus, and our MC immediately has it expand the protection to the entire apartment. A technological blue light instantly fills the scene, transforming the place into an impenetrable safe haven against the dangers of the apocalypse. Caught by surprise, the brunette goddess hears a loud beep coming from the air conditioner, which turns on by itself in the corner of the room. Feeling the cool breeze on their faces, the two sisters jump for joy, finally saved from the hellish heat outside.